Caribbean recently updated their prohibited items list to include multi-plug outlets, which have previously been considered a cruise essential. If you watch other cruise blogs here on YouTube, you can see that pretty much everybody tells you to take one of these things, but Royal Caribbean prohibited them recently. So we're going on a Royal Caribbean cruise later this week, and we're going to take a couple of different styles of plugs just to see what makes it through security.
When we first went on our first cruise for Phoebe's 30th birthday, we brought along this plug, which is what was suggested by a lot of blogs, a lot of videos, which has obviously got the American, the US style plug there, plus then 3 other plugs on it, and 3 USB outlets, which we took on and used in 2021.
On Royal Caribbean.
On a Royal Caribbean cruise.
Yeah.
This theoretically is now prohibited.
Yeah. So we are expecting this one to be confiscated when we go through security, but we're going to take it and find out.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get it back.
Hopefully we'll get it back.
But because of this, we also ordered a few new plugs just to see if they could make it on board and how well they would work.
Yeah. So we got another one that is a multi-plug outlet, but the plugs are only USBs. That's a stipulation in Royal Caribbean's new prohibited items policy that multi-plug outlets are prohibited unless the plugs are only for USBs.
Yeah. We also picked up this converter that comes with the European style plug. And then on the American, it has the American plug on the other side, and then 2 USBs.
Yeah. This is the one I'm really interested to see if it makes it through security, because it is technically a multi-plug outlet, but the multi part of it is the USBs.
Right.
It only has one of the US plugs on it, so it's going to be our first time trying to take something like this on a cruise. So we will see if it makes it through.
Yeah,
I think it will.
Most of the cabins have the European style and the American style plugs in the cabin, so it's good to have on just in case.
Yeah.
We'll see if it gets it on board or not.
Yeah, because there's so limited outlets, especially on the older cruise ships, that you want to be able to have as many plugs as possible to charge all of your stuff.
And just in case, we're bringing along a very simple, this came from my iPhone, I believe, or one of my older iPhones, but it's just a plug with 1 USB. So theoretically, this should make it on board and should be fine. And I took something very similar on the cruise, the Royal Caribbean cruise,
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing that I think is important to note is these are all not surge protected, because that's been prohibited from all cruises forever,
Years.
Essentially.
Yeah.
So none of these are surge protected. They are all going to go in our carry-on as we are going through security to get onto the cruise ship.
We're not going to pack them and have them checked to take in, because we want to know if they do take them off or out of our carry-on, that they can explain where we get it back, why we can't take it on, and hopefully get all that information to you.
Yeah, and one last thing to note is that part of their policy for their prohibited items is that each of the outlet plugs needs to have a certification on it that's essentially for US and European electrical safety standards. So there's this little note on it that says CE.
Yeah, which you can see on a couple of these.
Which
ironically, the one that we took 3 years ago doesn't have that CE certification. So it must be, I don't know if it's relatively new. Also, obviously, this is a 3-prong and the other ones are not. So I don't know. I'm not an electrician, so I don't know if that has something to do with it. But we'll see if we can get this on board or not.
And actually, I was surprised to see that this singular USB port does not have the CE marking on it, like these 2 new plugs that we bought.
Yeah.
So we are going to see what makes it through security and report back.
Trial and error. So for you, it's going to be a few seconds, but we'll see you in about a week. So this is going to seem a little anticlimactic, but all of the plugs made it through security just fine.
Yeah, really easily. However, the security could be different depending on which port you're going out of.
Yeah.
We went out of Long Beach here in Los Angeles, and we chose the earliest arrival time that we could during check-in, which was 11 a.m.
Yeah, and we got through security really fast. The lines weren't very long, so...
Yeah, they actually gave us express check-in for some reason.
I think it might be because we did all the safety stuff on the app beforehand. They have videos you're supposed to watch, and technically you can do them when you get to your muster station, when you get on the ship. But because we did them beforehand, I think they were like, all right, just go on through.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't know that the express check-in made a huge difference because the lines just weren't long at all.
Yeah, it wasn't very busy when we got there at that time. I mean, granted, I think a lot of people from LA were going, or people that had come in from the night before, so I don't think people were super eager to get on the ship at 11 a.m.
Yeah, but we were.
It literally, from the time we parked to getting on the ship, sitting at a bar getting our first drink was 25 minutes.
Yeah, less than half an hour, and that was like with our muster drill done and everything, so it went so fast. It was great.
The Royal Caribbean, props to you for all the online or the app stuff, like doing all that stuff done, because they essentially just talked us through the thing again, knew that we had done it, and we walked on. It was great.
Yeah. So fast. And our carry-on bag, it was put through an x-ray machine, similar to what you would see at an airport, maybe not quite as intense, but very similar kind of setup. And they either didn't see all of our charging stuff, which I think is unlikely.
Yeah.
In that X-ray machine, or they just aren't enforcing this new prohibited items policy.
Yeah, and it's not like we're trying to get anybody at Long Beach, the port, in trouble because I mean it's possible they're just not doing it. Maybe the reports of them not allowing them on were overblown. I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe it's just different port. I don't know. Anyway, we're not trying to get anybody in trouble with the security.
Yeah.
We just want to share our experience so that other people will kind of have a better idea of what to expect.
Yeah.
But we definitely recommend taking at least one charging plug that you know for sure will make it through security, because the last thing you want is to get on the cruise ship and not have a way to charge your stuff.
So if you've been on a Royal Caribbean cruise since they changed the policy in September of 2024, let us know down in the comments, what port you went out of, a day if you're comfortable with that. But let us know your experiences with getting these chargers and plugs onto the ship so that we can all enjoy our vacations.
Yeah, we're just trying to share as much information as possible so that everyone's vacations can be as painless as possible.
So definitely let us know in the comments, and we'll see you in the Great Wide somewhere.